Welcome to another episode of Tonight with Zororo, featuring your host, Zororo Makamba, and your DJ, SK. Tonight, Zororo has a one-on-one interview with Catherine Wilde. Catherine is a former drug user who lost her husband to a cocaine overdose. Tonight, she shares her experience with drugs and her views on the impact it's had on the country. You can join us in conversation on Twitter and follow us on @TWZ Show. And don't forget to include the hashtag TWZ. And now, give it up for your host, Zororo Makamba.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, and welcome to another episode of Tonight with Zororo. My name is Zororo Makamba. Now, recently I came across a shocking newspaper headline, and it read as follows. 65% of young people are suffering from mental illness as a result of alcohol and drug abuse. Now, South Africa is the biggest market for illicit drugs in the region, and we share a border with them, and now a lot of these drugs have flooded the streets of our beautiful country. And I empathize with young people because there are no jobs, the economy is in a downturn, and these kids are looking for things to do. And unfortunately, they've turned to drugs. You know, kids are taking anything from heroin to bronco to cocaine to, weed. And I understand that you can get a quick fix for as little as 50 cents, just 50 cents. And I'm also aware that there's not a single rehab center dedicated for people who have problems with the use of narcotics. Who is selling these drugs? Who is enforcing them? Young people are dying. Why aren't we talking about this? Well, we sat down with someone who's part of this underworld to find out what's really going on, and for reasons expected, we did not reveal his identity.
Ndakatongotanga one dhobho ndiri pageto pedu pambare apa pambilezi ende chimbanje chinofaya manje but unozongobudawo madhiri wayo waonawo kuti chibrongo iyaya inonzi cough syrup inenge ine mari uri nani waiziya ndakachimhanya chimushonga for about a year pandazongodhumana neimwe timu yakanditipa zheti remapiritsi ende mapiritsi ndakatozozvonofuti kuti ndoane high return asi pari pageto chaipo haafai Malawi Gold mbanje yataipinza kubva kumalawi iyaya nebrongo ndo zvinofaya kumageto kwese kunana viyu mbari chitungwiza uko kumatauni kumasaladhoko ndakatozongopinda shopu negame remapiritsi ona ende mapiritsi zheti rinofaya especially pakuti risipo rinogona kungodhibha waiziya saka the chances of getting caught are less but still unongochifanira kugara uine bhegi rako kuitira kuti ukangobata unotonyora handiti ecstasy ndo chaichai inonyanyofaya especially kuwafana echisalad vayavaya because vanenge vaine bhegi racho link rangu inini re-ecstasy anga ari mvet neimwe mindia waitamba naye waiziya ndo vaingondipa shipment racho indomwa especially kumapati aya yavafana vachiridza mazirave music avo waiziya pamakastoma futi ari mapiritsi vafana vechidiki vanenge vakazara kuecstasy uyakweya ecstasy ndinonyanyofaya especially kwafana vechivheti nevechiindia vaive nemamwe masalad maboyi angwari vashoma zvavo waiziya but ndaizodhilwa futi netimu yebhegi yaya yamabusinessmen ayaya vakuziya kastaira echivheti but still ivo manje madhara aya ebhegi vanenge vakarerekera kucocaine kwekwe kucocaine ndo kwacho ikokoko and muvhu recocaine ndakazopinda naro uku ndo machena manje because pabusiness return kufa nemari mudhara pamanda ndaigona kupusha kana oda re20 gida unokira ende pakadaro pacho paunozodzokera kumbanje kana kubrongo mapiritsi nepauda mudhara ndo pane mari yese apa ndisina kana pressure yekumhanya chishopu pakati pewiki waiziya kana kuti pese gemu racho ndiri kuti unongofonerwawo nemakastoma anenge achida oda ende hauzongodhile nemunhu wese waiziya ritori gemu rekudhila nevanhu veketasi vaunongochiziya kuti havasi mamero waiziya nekuti drugs inenge ichitsvaga saka itori kudhabhura kuti new source rinofaya here kana kuti mamero zvitori nani kujamba kana manew customers nekuti kazhinji kacho ndo panenge paine chirispo ende ndiri kuno kupisira ipapo kana madhiri obva avharika but still vari vapfanwa vechidiki vaive ukabata pamapilisi pa-ecstasy paya ndokwavo chaiko nepowder kazhinji madhara vaiva vane bhegi chairo because chinenge chichidedzera mudhara hit one chairo unogona kudonhedza kana waya waiketa saka ndosaka maritenzi acho achinyatsofaya stereke waya 50 unotopinda indinenge riri US$ greenback waiziva.
We'd love to know what you think. Share your thoughts with us on our Facebook page, Tonight with Zororo, and on Twitter @TWZ Show. And don't forget to include the hashtag TWZ.
Welcome back. This is the update. Now, Iske, you played a lot of gigs, my brother. At the end of these shows, you see a lot of empty bottles with syrup, man. Have you ever thought about the rampant use of drugs amongst our young people when you're driving home and reflecting afterwards?
Yeah, I do, man.
Yeah?
You know, the thing is, I'm at the club to entertain, and I entertain people. And then afterwards, you see all these things lying around, and it gets you wondering, will this person get home? You're thinking, are they going to be able to drive even? It's a scary thought, but,
But you DJs will be encouraging it. You'll be like, yo, turn up. If you're in here and high, make some noise. If you got that scissor, put your drink up. And, you know what I mean? Like,
you know what music will do to you. I mean, you're not going to really, turn up if, you're not a little...
Right.
Yeah.
But it is a cause of concern.
It is, and I think, we need to talk about it. Yeah.
And let's talk more about it. My next guest, her name is Catherine Wilde, and she has a touching story, a personal story. She lost her husband after an unfortunate overdose, and she's here to tell us all about that. Keep it locked here on TWZ.
Keep it locked on TWZ. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Tonight with Zororo.
Welcome back. And continuing with our discussion on drugs this evening, my next guest is Catherine Wilde. Please help me welcome her. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Zora. How are you?
Are you well?
Very well. Nice
Good to see you, and thank you for being a true champ. And this is obviously a topic that's very close to your heart.
Very.
And I appreciate you sharing your experience with us.
Welcome.
Please do go ahead and tell us about that fateful evening and your experience with drugs.
Well, about 5 years in July. My late husband, a friend of ours, and myself decided to do some cocaine. And we didn't take a lot. It was about a quarter of a matchstick. And within 10 minutes, my husband fell down, passed out. I was in the bathroom vomiting at the time, not knowing what was going on. Didn't feel right. The whole feeling of it, there was anxiety involved. And when our friend called out, Catherine, come here, when I got into the dining room where we were, and had actually fallen and passed out. Again, then, when that happened, I didn't realize what was going on. And he had vomited a little bit, and we took him away from his vomit, and our other friend was standing above him, and he then passed out. It was during that time, thank goodness, my mother and brother came through. They had been out, and they saw what was going on. They didn't know what was going on at the time.
I can imagine how they...
Well, it must have been very scary for them, having been out, and then suddenly you've got two people passed out. I was in and out. Then I passed out, and that was the last thing that I remember. And about 5 days later, I woke up. I'd been on life support in a coma. And I was then informed how Andy and Scott had died from it. And from just such a small amount, which was very scary.
What had actually happened? Because had you taken cocaine before?
Yes.
What was different about this feeling?
Everything. normally you'd feel a little bit upbeat, quite alert, but relaxed at the same time. This whole feeling now was heart racing. I wanted to vomit. I just thought, you know, I'm sure something isn't right, but nothing for alarm bells to go off about.
So what had caused their death? Was it the way
We
you
know-
guys had took it, or?
You know, what's so scary is that we don't really know. There's been all sorts of stories going on. One, that it was cut with rat poison.
Wow.
Well, all cocaine is cut with rat poison because that's what thins your blood and gives you the rush. Then we were told that it was heroin. We've heard all sorts of different versions of what was in it, but you don't know. You're not going to a pharmacy or your trusted doctor to buy something. You are buying from a drug dealer.
Sure.
And again, you've just got to realize that it comes from Colombia. It's not going to come straight to you. Everyone wants to make money. So each time the cocaine, it's going through different hands the whole time.
Everyone's chopping it up, chopping it up, chopping it up.
Exactly,
Yeah.
with all of the ingredients that they want, rat poison being the main one, vim, goodness, talcum powder, jelly. Look under your kitchen cabinet, and that is what they are cutting. Each dealer will cut with. And because it's every dealer wants to make money, you really are just taking the kitchen sink up your nose, which is quite a revolting thought, and you don't think about it at the time.
Right.
But that is the reality of it.
In your opinion, and I know you went through that traumatic experience, do we have a drug problem in Zimbabwe?
We've got a huge drug problem. Again, there is no, drugs doesn't have a boundary. It doesn't have race. It doesn't care about race. It doesn't care about your gender. It doesn't care what class you're in. If you're middle class, upper class, middle class, it really doesn't matter. Most importantly, it just doesn't matter if it's your very first time, if you're a social user or if you're an addict. It just takes one bit that's bad and you can die from it.
Because you never know what you're putting into your body.
You've no idea what you're putting in your body ever.
Who's involved?
Lots of high-powered people. They're involved. You've got your dealers, which are, if you better word said, they're sales reps, basically. They're out on the street or wherever you like. They'll come to your house if you like.
Dial a
drug.
drug?
That's
Really?
what we always used to say is...
I said that jokingly, but
No,
that actually...
it's very true.
Yeah.
You can, and it wouldn't matter what hour it was. If you felt like whatever... Unfortunately, again, with my experience, I was just cocaine. You know, I haven't experienced heroin or...
On that evening, did you dial a druggie?
Yes, we were playing poker, just the three of us. We were bored, and we thought, we didn't have much money on us, so we thought, oh, let's dial a gram of cocaine. And that's exactly what happened, and he dropped the gram of...
How much is a gram?
It's tiny. It's really not a lot.
In dollars?
In dollars.
Yeah.
Well, 5 years ago, it was between $60 or $75 for 1 gram. But now when you're using it quite frequently, you probably, in one evening, you'll probably go through maybe 4 or 5 grams. So that's why I was getting back to it's very scary of it doesn't matter if it's your first time, social or an addict.
When you say that they're sales reps, as you put it, does that mean that there's an underworld, or is this just happening in front of us and we're just all turning a blind eye to it?
We're turning a blind eye. It's acceptable. You look on the movies now, no one goes, oh, they're doing drugs. It's in every movie, it's all around you. So you sort of, at the time when I used, I would think, doesn't matter, what's the big deal? Everyone's doing it. So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So and I think that is very scary.
We're having a discussion on drugs, and my guest this evening is Catherine Wilde. And when we get back, I want to talk to her about her efforts in starting a rehab center in Zimbabwe. Stay tuned.
Keep it locked on TWZ. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Tonight with Zororo.
Welcome back. Catherine, tell us about your efforts in trying to start and get going a rehab center in our country.
Well, I think there's a definite need for it. There isn't one, as you know. I would love, and I'm trying my best to organize a rehab, but it's not as simple as that. I don't have enough knowledge about it. I need lots of people to help me with it. Medically, there's a lot of things that need to be done in order to get one opened, and there's a bit of red tape on it as well. But there is a need for it.
I get the feeling that people aren't being so helpful.
No, nobody really wants to admit that there is a drug problem.
That's sad, isn't it?
It's awfully sad and it's more sad for the users and the families. Because a rehab, everyone goes down to South Africa. And that's, it's a lot of money. And I would like something in Harare, in Zimbabwe, where it is affordable. And I would like to combine a holistic healing with the 12-step program and combine that somehow. I'd also like it to be from all ages, from our teenagers.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to miss school. I'd like to have homeschool teachers there in the process, because the teens, I do a lot of talks at schools.
Sure.
And there's problems there. And I find at school, you're going to get expelled. It's just going to make the child even think, well, I'm in enough trouble as it is. I'm going to carry on.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. You want to encourage them to deal with the problem and go back into society easily.
How receptive have the kids been when you give these talks?
Initially, it's always a bit scary for them, and they think, yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah.
But in my talks, I talk a lot more personally about the dealers and the whole process that I had to go through. And I've seen a few of the kids, their eyes go quite big when I mention certain names.
Yeah.
And then it hits home for them.
Yeah.
So it starts from school that there's a problem, right up to adults.
Yeah. And closing out, what have you been up to of late, apart from your efforts in trying to get the rehab center going? How's life?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good. I'm working at the preschool, which is just wonderful. Breath of fresh air.
Yeah. No drugs.
Absolutely not.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thank you, Zororo.
I did something that I shouldn't have said. I called her Kathy. She didn't hear me.
I didn't notice.
Hates that. I did that once before when we were having a discussion, and she was like, "Don't call me Kathy. It's Catherine or Kath."
And that was when we were live on radio. I didn't even think.
Oh,
that was scary.
Please support our efforts. Let's get the conversation going. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's admit that we do have a problem. We do have a problem. I commend Kathy for coming on again and sharing her story. Yo, we're gonna be right back. Thank you very much to Catherine Wilde for being my guest this evening. Make sure you catch us next week and follow us on all the social media platforms. Up next on the Coca-Cola soundstage, we have a very talented 17-year-old. Her name is Tammy, and her song is New Day.
I'm one who's very passionate about what I do, and I love music a lot, so I write from the heart, and I speak to a lot of people. I'm an artist who makes music that's timeless for the young and the old. For about 10 years now. I started singing when I was 7, so it's been 10 years. I'm 17 now. Basically, I do a fusion of everything. I've done different types of genres put together, so it's a fusion, and I write inspirational music, basically for the downhearted and the down low. That's basically it. A lot of new songs, new releases, videos, hopefully, and I hope to be working with some of the big names in the industry, e.g. Amara Brown.
Possibilities, opportunities, making history. A time to fall, and life knocks you down. But yesterday was yesterday, today's a new day. I am holding on, I ain't giving up. It's a new day, good things are coming my way. Celebrate. It's a new day, good things are coming my way. Celebrate. Zubara Buddha, kunze kwa chena. Ingawani, shiri zinora mo. It's a new day, good things are coming my way. Celebrate. Zubara Buddha, kunze kwa tena. Yeah. Said it would be easy, trust me, and it's not a race to get there, baby feet. Words through the day, like there's no tomorrow. You've got to be key before the night falls. Kanawa guru taura tera, kanawa guru taura tera. She knows. Work hard today, live with no regrets. I could have, I should have, would have known now. Millions and billions of people, thousands and mountains of obstacles will stand in your way. Whatever they say, no time to waste. Let's get to it, you know.